Okay, we are back streaming live to YouTube. I am calling State of Georgia versus Amir Collins. So there at the jail, if you're Amir Collins, wave at me to confirm that. All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Collins is charged with loitering, warrant 2025 WA 72232, and criminal trespass, warrant 2025 WA 72234. And representing the state is Mr. Nobles, and representing Mr. Collins is Mr. Lane. And Mr. Nobles, you can call your witness.
Yes, at this time, the state will call, um, Officer James McGrath.
Yes,
Can you please raise your right hand, Mr. McGriff? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, and the penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right, Officer McGriff, can you tell me where are you employed?
Clayton County Police Department.
Okay. And were you so employed with Clayton County Police Department back on um February 15th, 2025?
Yes,
And on that day, did you have occasion to come into contact with Mr. Amir Collins?
yes,
How did you make contact with him?
I did.
And so what happened? What caused you to make contact with him?
Um, I'm a living courtesy officer for an apartment complex located in Stockbridge, and I was informed by the property manager that she was receiving notifications from the um, maintenance and uh, um, maintenance and individuals who live here, stating that there was a gentleman who was going into a vacant building that was sealed off from the community. So this particular night, I did my rounds, which was checking the abandoned building that had a gate around it, um, warning signs or markings stating that no one should be inside due to live construction taking place. Um, as I went downstairs, checked one particular door, noticed that it was unlocked, pushed the door forward, noticed that there were fresh damages to the door frame. The locking mechanisms were still activated on the door frame, and there were pieces of the door frame that was used to wedge uh, behind the door and on the wall to not give anyone access to into the room. Went around, checked through the window. Sorry, went around and checked through the window. Observed debris that was used from the ceiling stacked up behind the bedroom door as well. Observed the closet door also being closed. From my previous rounds, I've noticed that the front door was not damaged, and I've also noticed that the bedroom door and closet door were open due to maintenance going inside and getting everything cleaned up. Called the property manager, informed her what took place. She advised that no one has been inside. She gave me authorization to go inside to check it out. Called for assistance. Went inside. I observed a couldn't identify sex, but I did see someone in the closet with locks and a black Nike duffel bag to the right, or like a small book bag. Once assisting officers got on scene, they called me and informed me that they wanted me to speak to them via phone. Went back to my patrol unit to get my phone, and the suspect snuck out of the apartment while I was upstairs. But as other officers arrived on scene, they managed to make contact with the individual who was observed knocking on their mother's door approximately it had to be maybe between 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. They made contact with him. He advised that he was spending Valentine's Day with his mom, that they went out shopping. We made contact with mom. Mom said that she does not allow him in the residence. She doesn't have any contacts with him, and she doesn't speak to him at all. Uh, I then broke off because we lost sight of him. Then I made contact with him again and verified the small duffel bag. Once I spoke to Mr. Amir Collins, informed him of what took place, also confirmed it back with him. And from that point, that's when we push forward with the arrest.
Now, where is the location of this apartment?
Um, the 707 Hanover, well, 7 out of 5 Hanover Circle, if I'm not mistaken.
Was that inside Clayton County?
Yes.
And about what time was it when you saw that person inside the closet?
Um, this had to be approximately between the hours of 3 to 4 a.m.
Okay. Is it usual to find somebody inside that apartment at this time?
No, sir, because as it states, the leasing office, sorry, correction, the property manager informed me that no one should be inside of the vacant building. And there were also gates that were surrounding the building as well to keep everyone out of that structure.
You had previously done rounds to check that location, is that right?
Yes,
When was the last time you had made rounds prior to this encounter with Mr. Collins?
the night before the date of this incident.
And the night before, did you observe any damage to the frame or the property?
No.
And was that property still secured to prevent access?
Yes.
Okay. And when you returned this day, you did observe fresh damage. Is that correct?
Yes.
Was there more than one person? How many people did you find inside? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, officer. How many people were there inside?
One.
All right. Thank you. That's all the questions I have for you. Officer McGriff, defense might have some additional questions.
All right, Mr. Lane.
Hey, good morning, officer.
Morning.
Was there any security cameras in the area that were able to record the incident?
No.
Okay. Did you have your I guess your body cam on?
Yes.
Okay. And it was activated?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said this area that was under construction was completely surrounded by like a temporary construction fence?
Yes.
Okay, and you remember what the signs that were posted on there, what they actually said?
No.
Okay. Uh, All right, officer. Well, thank you. I don't have any further questions.
All right. And Mr. Nobles, does the state have any other witnesses?
No further witnesses from the state.
All right. And Mr. Lane, are you presenting any witnesses today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Nobles, do you want to reserve closing?
Yes, I'll reserve.
All right, Mr. Lane.
Your Honor, we just would submit with the officer's testimony.
Okay. All right. So based on the officer's testimony, I do find probable cause to bind the 2 charges over to state court. I will issue that order today, and that will take care of everything on this case. Officer McGriff, if you don't have any other cases on today, you can be excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
And deputies, that'll take care of everything for Mr. Collins. So Mr. Collins can go back. Thank you. All right. And Mr. Nobles, which case did you want to move to next? Do you want to move to the next one in line here?
You take care of I know we had a private attorney joining us who's trying to split time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. So,
Mr. Nassau.
yeah, I gotta adjust my screen here so I can see everyone. All right. So, Mr. Nassau, are you there?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. And so let's go ahead and handle your case here. Mr. Whiteside is your client. So, deputies, if we can get DeAnthony Whiteside up, please.
Yes, sir. We got Whiteside.
Okay.
Judge, what's the name again? I'm sorry.
DeAnthony Whiteside.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. Okay. So if the officer on DeAnthony Whiteside can go ahead and turn your camera on. All right. So I am calling State of Georgia versus DeAnthony Whiteside. So there at the jail, if you're DeAnthony Whiteside, just wave at me to confirm that. All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Whiteside is charged with battery, warrant 2025 CW 50088, and representing the state is Mr. Nobles, and representing Mr. Whiteside is Mr. Nassau. And Mr. Nobles, you can call your witness.
Yes, the state will call Officer Krishana Williams at this time.
I'm here.
Mr. Williams, can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Can you please state your name for the court?
Investigator Q Williams,
And where are you employed?
the Clayton County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. And were you still employed back on January 14th, 2025?
Yes.
Do you recall where you were stationed on that day?
Well, I don't work inside the jail. When the crimes occur, they call me to the jail.
Okay, responded. Okay, did you have cause to respond to the jail on that day?
Yes.
Okay, and what prompted you to respond to the jail?
I got a call saying that a male was assaulted very bad. So the supervision told us to go to the jail and try to see what took place.
Okay, and what did your investigation reveal to you?
I saw a victim, Will Wright, and he had like 2 black eyes. He was beat up. And when I spoke to him, he said he was assaulted by a few men.
Were you able to view any surveillance of the incident?
Yes.
Okay, what did you see on that surveillance?
I saw Will Wright. He was inside of a cell, and I saw Whiteside and a couple more inmates walk inside that cell. The door wasn't all the way shut, but it was cracked. And during the crack portion, I was able to see the other inmates jumping on him and stumping on him. And I definitely saw Whiteside stumping on him. You can physically see this on the camera. And that's also preserved for evidence.
Okay. And based on what you see, did you make a decision on what charges to take out?
Yes.
And what was that?
Battery.
Did this all take place in Clayton County?
It did.
Thank you, Officer Williams. Those are the questions I have for you. Defense might have some additional questions.
You're welcome.
All right. And Mr. Nassau.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Investigator Williams.
Good morning.
Did you see the altercation from beginning to end, or were you able to see just a portion of it?
I saw it from beginning to end.
Did Mr. Wright throw any punches, do anything aggressive in your observation?
I mean, trying to protect himself, yes, but he was on the ground.
And how many other people did you see in this altercation?
I have to look at my report.
All right. And but more than Mr. Whiteside, is that right?
Yes, he wasn't the only one.
Okay. And so, but you couldn't hear what was said between any of these people prior to the altercation happening, is that right?
No, it's no audio.
Okay. All right. Nothing further.
All right. And Mr. Nobles, does the state have any further witnesses?
Oh, no further witnesses from the state.
Okay. And Mr. Nassau, are you presenting any witnesses today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Nobles, do you want to reserve closing?
Yes, I'll reserve.
All right. And Mr. Nassau?
We'll waive any kind of closing.
Okay. All right. I do find probable cause to bind this case over based on the officer's testimony. Because this act occurred in a penal institution, I do think that it is appropriate that this is bound over to Superior Court as a felony under OCGA section 161056, unlawful acts of violence in a penal institution. I do find probable cause for it to be bound over as that felony charge. And so I am going to issue that order today to bind the case over to Superior Court under 161056. And I will issue that order today. And so, Investigator Williams, if you don't have any other cases on today, do you have another one?
I think I have the same case with another suspect with this for this case.
Okay. All right. And officers, that'll take care of everything on Mr. Whiteside's case today. He can be taken back.
Do we have Mr.
Right.
Menietas yet, Attorney Menietas? I'll say we could take care of both of her, well, these two defendants together if he's available. I don't see him.
So, which is the other case? That's
One is Louis Spencer.
Spencer. Okay. I don't think we have the attorney here for him. Is there an attorney for Louis Spencer here? Okay. Mr. Nassau, was that your only case today?
That's it, John. I may be excused.
Yes, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Same here.
Okay. And let's see. Um, do you guys want to move to Isaiah Duffy?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes. Uh-huh.
this is jail. You have Nash, inmate Nash. His first name is Rail.
Yeah, that's going to be a judicial bind over, so he can be taken back.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Uh-huh. Sure thing. And if the officer on Isaiah Duffy can go ahead and turn their camera on, we'll be ready as soon as the defendant gets up here.
Yes. Officer Richard Porcher, can you please turn on your camera?
Yeah, I think she's up there.
Yeah, okay.
I can see. Uh-huh.
Your Honor, who we waiting for?
Isaiah Duffy.
It's Duffy. Yon, I'm sorry. He is up on the floor by mistake. We're gonna get him down. If you can go to the next inmate, and we're gonna get him for you, okay?
Okay. Um, so let's move to Jaquan Mathis, I think would be the next one. Yeah. Okay. So deputies, if we can get Jaquan Mathis up. Yeah, it looks like is the officer here on Jaquan Mathis?
Judge Parker, are you holding for Mathis?
Yes. Uh-huh. Okay, and we've got our officer. All right. All right. I am calling State of Georgia versus Jaquan Mathis. So they're at the jail. If you're Jaquan Mathis, wave at me to confirm that. All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Mathis is charged with reckless conduct, warrant 2025 WA 72330, and tampering with evidence. That's warrant 331. Representing the state is Mr. Nobles, and representing Mr. Mathis is Mr. Lane. And Mr. Nobles, you can call your witness.
Yeah. The state will call Officer Jaira Everson.
I'm here.
Can you please raise your right hand for me, Miss Everson? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Can you tell me where you're employed?
Clayton County Police Department.
And can you just state your name for the court?
Jaya Everson.
Okay. And were you so employed with Clayton County Police Department back on February 17th, 2025?
Yes.
And on that day, did you have cars to respond to a person shot call?
Yes.
Okay, so where was the location that you responded to?
1489 Green Willow Drive in Conley, Georgia.
Is that in Clayton County?
Yes.
And when you arrived at the location, what did you find?
When I arrived at the location, I found a victim by the name of David laying in the hallway of the residence with a gunshot wound to his thigh. One officer, was that it, or did you want me to go ahead and give the whole?
You can go into your investigation.
Okay. So yeah, I found a victim with a gunshot wound to his thigh by the name of David laying in the hallway. One officer gave him medical attention while I began questioning him to find out what happened. I asked him how the incident occurred or if he had known who shot him, and he said that his cousin shot him. When I asked the name of the cousin, he was hesitant to give it at first, but eventually he said Jaquan.
Okay.
And he said that his cousin had been playing around with the gun in the room. They were all sitting in the bed. He said he was in the room, Jaquan was in the room, and his brother, Paul, was in the room. And he said that Mathis had been playing around with the gun in the room and he had asked him to stop. And next thing you know, the gun had accidentally went off. He said he didn't think that it happened on purpose. But when I asked where was his cousin, Mathis was not on scene. When I got there, he had left the residence and the firearm was gone as well. After we finished getting medical attention, getting him medical attention and getting him off the scene by EMS, I then talked to the victim's brother, Paul, and Paul was able to confirm that it was only Mathis, David, and himself in the bedroom, and that he was holding his juvenile child in the bedroom as well in his hands. And he said he didn't see anything. He didn't hear. He only heard the gun go off, but he didn't know that there was a gun in the bedroom at the time. And he looked down to check for his baby because he was holding a juvenile in his hand. And once he looked over, his brother David was screaming, and he realized that he had been shot. After assessing the scene and getting him off, getting the victim off of the scene, I was able to go back down to the first level of the residence, and I noticed someone new inside of the residence being talked to by another officer. And when I asked, who are you speaking to and who is this person, it was Jaquan Mathis. And I began asking him what happened and things like that. Initially, his story was that they were all in the bedroom, they were sitting on the bed, and that him and a fourth person by the name of Quan was inside of the bedroom, and that they were exchanging his initial story was that they were in the bedroom and they were all sitting down and they just heard a gunshot go off and they thought that someone had started shooting through the house. And then after asking him to run a story by me again, just to make sure that I have everything correct, then he stated that there was a fourth person in the bedroom by the name of Quay and that they were exchanging a firearm and they were standing in front of David. And he said that while they were standing in front of David, they had the firearm pointed down, but it was facing in David's direction, and both of their fingers got caught on the trigger while trying to exchange the firearm, and that he possibly could have shot David. When we asked where this fourth person was, what was his name or anything like that, he said he didn't know this person's real name. There was no way for us to contact him, and that person fled and got on a MARTA bus. Asked where the firearm was. He said he doesn't know. He doesn't own a firearm. All he knew was that it was a gray firearm, but he didn't know the caliber. He didn't know the make. He didn't know anything.
Were you able to locate that firearm?
Yes. So my supervisor was able to get a search warrant for the residence and all of the vehicles in the driveway, and CSI came out and CID came out and they located the firearm in one of the vehicles in the driveway in a center console. I was able to speak with the registered owner of that vehicle because he was on scene when I initially arrived. And he stated that he does not own any weapons. There should not be any weapons in that car. And that he did not give Mathis permission to use his vehicle or drive his vehicle.
So was the victim, Mr. David Brinkley, was he shot inside the vehicle?
No.
Okay. So the gun was found in a different location than where the actual shooting happened, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and when you spoke to Mr. Brinkley, was he able to tell you who shot him?
Yes.
And who did he advise was the one responsible?
Jaquan Mathis.
All right, thank you, officer. That's all the questions I have for you. The state might have some additional questions.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Lane.
Hey, good morning, officer.
Good morning.
Were you ever able to locate this individual named Quay?
No.
Okay. But when you spoke with my client, he was telling you that they were actually in the process of exchanging the gun, and then at some point during that exchange, the gun accidentally went off.
Correct.
Okay. And then you said the gun was found in whose car?
I want to say, give me a second. It was found in a family member's car. I believe his name was Dunlap.
Okay. So the gun wasn't found on my client or in my client's car, correct?
Correct.
Did anyone ever come forward and claim the gun?
No.
All right, officer. Well, thank you. I don't have any further questions.
All right. And Mr. Nobles, does the state have any further witnesses?
We do not have any additional witnesses.
All right. And Mr. Lane, are you presenting any witnesses today?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Nobles, do you want to reserve closing?
Yes, I'll reserve.
All right. Mr. Lane?
Your Honor, yeah, just briefly, we'd argue for a dismissal of both the reckless conduct and tampering charges. There's just too many unanswered questions. What we do know is that the gun was found in a car that does not belong to my client. It wasn't found on my client. We have different statements, at least as far as how this actually all went down. We have this mystery person named Quay, who's yet to be identified or located or gotten a statement from, who very well may have been involved in the shooting. So just based on all these unanswered questions, we would say that cuts against the finding of probable cause and a dismissal of both charges.
All right, Mr. Nobles?
Yes, Judge, you heard testimony from this officer that the victim who was shot reported that Mr. Jaquan Mathis, the defendant, was repeatedly racking the gun back and forth in a manner that he thought was unsafe and reckless, that he actually asked him to stop that behavior, that Mr. Mathis continued to play with the gun until a discharge. So we argue that is sufficient to find that he was acting in a manner that was reckless, that disregarded the risk of harm to other people, and he actually did in fact cause that harm. As to the second warrant, the tampering with evidence, you heard testimony that Mr. Franklin was in fact shot inside of the residence, that Mr. Mathis denied knowing where the firearm was, but did admit that he was in possession of that firearm. It was subsequently discovered inside of a vehicle, so it seems that it was moved in the effort to conceal that evidence. So we say that does meet the definition of tampering with evidence. This does also appear in its face to be a felony, so we believe this charge is appropriate to be bound over to Superior Court. So we'd ask the court to bind the case over.
Okay. And are you saying this would be felony reckless conduct?
So the tampering with evidence is a felony.
Okay. Can you explain the justification for that?
The justification. Just looking at the statute, Judge, 16-10-94 says anyone who violates this subsection should be guilty of a felony, subject to punishment by imprisonment of 1 to 3 years.
Well, I think it's a little, let's see. Mr. Lane, do you want to respond to that?
Your Honor, I would just argue against any kind of felony upgrade with this. It's very weak, even making a misdemeanor charge of tampering, just based on the testimony and looking at this report. Again, the gun wasn't found on my client or in my client's vehicle. It was found, if anything, they could charge the owner of the vehicle with
Okay.
some kind of tampering. But
So according to 1610-94, my reading of it is if someone violates that code section involving the prosecution or defense of a felony, involving another person, then it's a felony. But if you get down to the last sentence, any person who violates it involving the prosecution or defense of a misdemeanor shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. And so I think it's dependent upon what the reckless conduct charge is going to be, and I think that's a misdemeanor. So I do find probable cause for both charges as misdemeanors to be bound over to state court. And I will issue that order today. And Officer Everson, if you don't have any other cases on, you can be excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that will take care of everything on Mr. Mathis's case. So Deputy C can go back. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Let's see. Does that get us to? Hang on just a second. I think.
We
Let's see.
still,
I think we.
I'm sorry. We still haven't got Mr. Duffy yet, because I'm the
Okay.
only deputy down.
Okay.
So once we get him, I would definitely let you know.
Okay. And Attorney Manetas, I think I saw you log in there.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
There you go. Good morning. So you've got Sean Slayton and Lewis Spencer on today.
Yes, Your Honor. That's
Those are the
accurate.
two. Okay. All right. Are you ready for hearings on both of those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's go ahead with next here.
Your Honor, do you need anyone?
We need Sean Slayton. Let's see. Officer White, you asked about Emmanuel Battle. That's going to be a waiver today. So if that's your only case, you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Officer Murphy, you asked about Dontavius Green. That is a waiver today. So if that's your only case, you're free to go as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And Slayton is actually a co-defendant case, Judge. Do we have the co-defendant's attorney here?
On Slayton?
Yes, Slayton
Yeah.
and Bush are together.
Oh, that's right. When Mr. Hicks is representing the co-defendant there. He is not logged in, I don't believe. Do we want to go ahead and take Mr. Manatis's other case here and give Mr. Hicks a minute to log in? Miss Wesley, can you reach out to Mr. Hicks? Make sure he has the Zoom link. So can we switch over to Lewis Spencer then? And we'll hold on. So deputies, if you'll hang on to Mr. Slayton, we're going to come back to him in just a moment. But if you can bring up Lewis Spencer. And I'll be right back. All right. And we have our officer up on Lewis Spencer.
I'm back.
All right. Okay. So I'm calling State of Georgia versus Lewis Spencer. So there's the jail. If you're Lewis Spencer, wave at me to confirm that. All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Spencer is charged with battery, warrant 2025CW50089, and representing the state is Mr. Nobles, and representing Mr. Spencer is Mr. Manatas. And am I pronouncing your last name right? Is it Manatas?
Yes, Your Honor, very close. Manetis.
Manetas. Okay. Mr. Manetas. So, and Mr. Nobles, you can call your witness.
Yes, the state will call Officer Quashana Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Williams, can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Can you please state your name for the court?
Investigator Q Williams with the claim.
Yes. Can you tell me, were you employed with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office back on January 14th, 2025?
Yes.
And on that day, did you have cause to respond to 9157 Terra Boulevard?
Yes, I did.
Is that located in Clayton County?
Yes.
And when you respond to that location, what did you find?
A guy was my victim, beat up and assaulted, 2 black eyes, bruised face. He was beat up bad.
Were you able to view any surveillance footage of
Yes.
what happened to him?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay, and what did you see happen on that video?
I saw the victim walk inside the cell, and I saw Mr. Lewis and a couple more suspects walk into the room, and the door was cracked, so I was able to see what was going on. I was able to see the other suspects and Mr. Lewis stomping and striking the victim with a closed fist, and the victim was on the ground balled up.
Was Mr. Spencer joining in this attack with other people?
He was.
And was the victim by himself?
Yes.
Okay, and were you able to recognize and identify Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Okay, and did you secure any warrants as a result of your investigation?
Yes, sir, I did.
What was that?
For battery.
All right. Thank you. That's all the questions I have for you. Defense might have some additional questions.
Okay.
All right. And Mr. Manetas?
Thank you, Judge. So you didn't see any weapons throughout this?
No.
Okay. And how many times before this had you interacted with Mr. Spencer?
I can't recall.
Okay. But you had interacted with him before?
I interact with thousands of inmates. I can't say right now.
Okay, so you can't remember whether or not you've interacted with him before, correct?
I said I can't recall. If I can go back and look at my notes, I could probably, but as of right now, I can't recall.
Okay, that's fine if you want to look at your notes right now.
Judge, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I got a lot of emails with his name, and I'm not the only investigator. I know CID have dealt with him, but I can't recall if it's just me right now. So that's what I'm gonna stick with.
Okay. And your position, is it just as an investigator, or are you involved in other sheriff department stuff?
I investigate the crimes that happen inside the jail.
Okay, so you're not involved in the administration of the jail or the inmates?
Ask that question again.
If I understood you right, if there's a crime that's alleged within the jail, you investigate it, but as a deputy, you're not involved in like transporting inmates or bringing them food or taking them to court or anything like that. It's just investigation.
Wherever the jail needs me.
Okay.
That's what I do, investigate the crimes, but I can go help out with feeding. It just whatever the jail needs at that time.
Okay, I understand. And you said it was this, I got a bit confused. You said you were watching a video or you saw it live?
Video. It was video footage.
Okay, and how was that stored?
We have CCTV video surveillance that we have inside of the jail.
Okay, and so that's been preserved for purposes of future court dates?
Yes, it's reserved for evidence.
Okay. And about how far away, if we're actually in the jail, about how far away from the video is supposedly Mr. Spencer?
I can't say, but I know I was able to zoom in really close. The cameras are really good.
You can zoom in. Okay. And when do you first see Mr. Spencer supposedly on the video?
You said when?
Yeah, like how does the video begin? I know you mentioned the alleged crime, but yeah.
They stopped the cell at the same time, and once they walked in there, they all just started fighting the victim.
Okay. And we can't hear anything that's being said by any of the parties?
No, sir.
Okay. And then how does the video end?
Them walking out the cell.
Okay. And then do you see where they go after they walk out of the cell, or is that off video?
They're in the day room.
Okay. And are the day rooms, are those connected to their individual rooms?
No, the day room is like the open area.
Okay. Okay, so we don't see on video which individual room any of the inmates on the video go back to.
No, they went inside. They didn't go inside another room. They went inside the day room, the open area.
Okay, and do all the inmates in the pod have access to that day room?
Yeah, it's like their free space where they all come out together.
Okay, I understand. So it's not the free space just for the inmates we've talked about today. It's for all the ones in the pod.
Yes.
Okay. And all the inmates in the pod are wearing the same clothing?
No, some have different. Some have orange jumpsuits. Some have white. Some don't wear anything. Some have thermals.
Okay, and what do you mean by don't wear anything?
Well, they don't have on a uniform. They wear thermals.
Thermals, just the thermals. Okay. And what about the people on the video, the inmates on the video, were they all wearing the same thing?
I can't recall what they were wearing that day.
Okay. What color was Mr. Spencer supposedly wearing that day?
Can't recall.
Okay. And would there be a record of that anywhere? Is that taken down?
It's in video. It's on in evidence preserved.
Well, I know that's your testimony, but I'm saying besides you supposedly recognize him on the video, is there any kind of record kept by the sheriff about what uniform he's been given or what he was wearing that particular day?
No.
What you saw? Okay. And all the people on the video, do they have similar hairstyles or different hairstyles?
Different hairstyles.
Okay. And what hairstyle at the time are you saying that Mr. Spencer had?
Dreads.
Okay. And he's the only one in the pod with dreads?
No.
Okay, so several of the inmates have dreads, correct?
A few of them have dreads.
Okay, that's a pretty, and as an investigator, that's pretty popular hairstyle, not just in the jail, but at large.
People have dreads.
Okay. And are there any eyewitnesses as part of your investigation or just the video?
The video and the victim.
Okay. And there were potential eyewitnesses, correct? The other people in the free room or other inmates or sheriff workers?
You're speaking on the officers that's in the tower?
Well, anyone, yeah, would the officers in the tower or any other inmates anywhere in the pod?
The inmates, most of them don't talk. Like they don't like to get involved. So I had video footage and I was able to see that was good enough.
I understand. So there's not any eyewitness accounts that are part of the investigation?
No, sir.
Okay. And what about an interview with the deputy that was working in the tower or in the middle part?
The officer that was working in the tower, I didn't speak to them.
Okay, do you know who it was?
No.
Okay, is there some kind of record of that?
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
who would have that record?
The jail keeps a daily log of every officer assignment for that day.
Okay. And on the video, is the tower visible?
Yes.
Okay. Can you recognize the deputy if you were to look at the video that's in the tower?
It's a correction officer, and I can. If
Okay.
I
If you were to look at it, I understand. I'm just thinking about how, how clear it is in the glass and all that.
Well, we have a tower view. The camera has a tower view, so we can look inside the tower.
I see, understood.
Yeah.
So the camera video you're looking at, it's just one camera, or is it like boxes showing multiple cameras?
I can put it on different cameras, different angles how I want it.
Okay, and which is the one that's stored in this case? Just the one that shows the inmates going in and out of the cell of the victim?
It's in the day room, and it's also like in front of the tower. It's like a camera that you can see that's pointing towards the housing unit, and it's one that's inside the housing unit.
Okay, and that's the only one that's stored as part of the case. So the other videos available in the pod, those haven't been stored.
Everything that was stored is related to this incident.
Okay. And then you were never shown any photo lineups to try to identify Mr. Spencer out of the photo lineup?
I know those inmates.
So that's no, you weren't shown any photo lineups?
I didn't give, no one was given the photo lineup.
And then when you're saying that you know them and recognize them, how it's just from you zooming in and looking at his face, or is there any like tattoos or scars or anything like that?
It's zooming in, looking at his face. Well, not only just him, the other suspects that was involved, and some of them are like repeated offenders. And also, when I'm trying to identify the inmates, I have the jail staff that works with these individuals on a regular, who's able to say, this is that inmate, this is that inmate.
Okay. And we don't know what was said by the person that got beat up towards Mr. Spencer.
What do you mean?
I'll back up a little bit. Did you interview the person that got beat up?
Yes.
Okay. Was that just you, or were you with someone else?
I was with someone else.
Okay. And who was that?
I can't remember, but it always have to be two of us.
Okay.
Another investigator.
Okay. And then how was that statement of the alleged victim stored?
Body cam is stored as well on body cam and on audio on our cell phones.
Okay. And were there any jail calls seized or listened to as part of this?
No.
Okay. Was there any sort of tablet or messaging activity the inmates investigated as part of this?
No.
Okay. And the investigation is not ongoing right now, correct? It's closed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Your Honor, those are my questions.
All right. And Mr. Nobles, does the state have any other witnesses today?
There are no further witnesses from the state.
All right. And Mr. Menedas, are you presenting any witnesses today?
I am not, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Nobles, do you want to reserve closing?
Yes, I will reserve.
All right. Mr. Menedas?
Well, Your Honor, we don't, we had no testimony about what was actually said during any of this. There are no weapons involved. I would ask that the court not find probable cause that this force wasn't somehow, proportionate to some kind of justification. Even though the person's outnumbered, we just simply don't know what was said, and there's absolutely no testimony about any investigation into justification or how to rule it out. And so it'd be hard for me to look at this as probable cause that there was any unlawful use of force, especially given, how violent and threatening the jail environment could be. And, it could be that the person was beat up until the inmates felt safe to, know that something wasn't going to happen to them. We also don't know where the people went to before or afterwards. And, we just have the officer's word for it about the video. We haven't entered that video as an exhibit, and there's no photo lineup. That's all.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Nobles?
Yeah, I'll just point out that Mr. Spencer is not being charged with use of a weapon or with making any threats. Self-defense would be an affirmative defense that the defense would have to make, and we did not have any evidence that he was acting in self-defense. Testimony that we heard was that he in fact approached this victim along in concert with numerous other individuals and attacked them first. Officer Williams was able to testify that he saw the video, was able to identify Mr. Spencer as being involved in the attack. So we'd ask that the court find probable cause to bind this charge over.
All right. I do find probable cause to bind the case over based on the fact this act occurred in a penal institution. I do think that a felony charge of unlawful act of violence in a penal institution under OCGA 161056 would be appropriate. And so that will bind the case over to state court. I will issue that order today.
You mean Superior Court?
I'm sorry, Superior Court. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. So we'll bind the case over to Superior Court, and I'll issue that. And Investigator Williams, if that wraps everything up for you, you can be excused. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, you too. And deputies, that will take care of everything on Mr. Spencer.
And Your Honor, just for the record, I was court appointed to represent Mr. Spencer on the misdemeanor charges as part of the state court appointment list. So I met, and I know he has an open Superior Court case. I don't know if that matters or needs to be noted anywhere, but I imagine the notice of this will go to that attorney, and
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. It'll, I guess, get reassigned once it gets bound to Superior Court. So, okay.
Judge, we have Mr.
Yes. Who is that?
We have Mr. Duffy.
Okay. All right. Hang on to it for just a second. Let me see.
Stop looking at me.
Let me see if we've got Miss Wesley, did you hear anything from Mr. Hicks?
No, sir. Waiting on the email.
Okay. Okay. So let's go back over and handle Duffy, and then we'll come back if I'm hoping Mr. Hicks is able to log in so that we can try the two co-defendants there together at the same time. So let's go ahead with Isaiah Duffy. So deputies, if you can get him up. All right, and let me get this situated here. Okay. All right, I am calling State of Georgia versus Isaiah Duffy. So they're at the jail. If you're Isaiah Duffy, wave at me to confirm that. All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Duffy is charged with criminal trespass, warrant 2025 CW 50426, and representing the state is Mr. Nobles, and representing Mr. Duffy is Mr. Lane. And Mr. Nobles, you can call your witness.
Yeah, at this time, the state will call Officer Richard Portia.
I'm here.
Can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Can you please state your name for the court?
Portia Richard.
Oh, it's Portia Richard. I was headed backwards. Okay. And can you tell me where you're employed?
Forest Park Police Department.
Okay. And were you so employed back on February 20th, 2025?
Yes, I was.
And on that day, did you have cars to respond to a call about property damage?
I didn't respond on the date of the incident. I investigated the case I received the case on the 25th of February.
Understood. And what was the incident location that you're investigating?
It was 4568 Old Dixie Highway, Suite 5 at Jimmy John's Restaurant.
Is that in Clayton County?
It is.
And what did your investigation reveal to you?
Well, I was able to review video footage at a business in the plaza, Liberty Package. The address is also 4568 Old Dixie Highway in Forest Park. And while reviewing the video, I observed Mr. Duffy in the clothing described by the victim. A black ski mask, black jacket, black pants, black shoes. I observed him leaving Jimmy John's. He removed his Jimmy John's shirt in the parking lot, and he re-entered the business. And when he came out, he was walking to the bus stop where he stood for a few minutes, and then he returned to the parking lot, and he was walking around the building with a former associate by the name of Naija Deal. And during their interaction, I observed Ms. Deal hand Mr. Duffy what appeared to be a pocket knife. They went inside the Liberty Package. Mr. Duffy came out of Liberty Package, walked past the victim's Ford Escape that was parked in front of Jimmy John's. And when he walked back, about a minute later, he bent down near the driver's side rear tire. Then he came back towards Miss Deal and handed her the pocket knife.
And was there damage to the vehicle belonging to Miss Robinson?
Yes, sir.
What was that damage?
According to the reporting officer, he observed a puncture to the back left tire.
And was Ms. Robinson, is she familiar with Mr. Duffy?
Yes, she was his manager.
Was she able to identify him as a person who caused the damage?
No, she did not witness him puncture the tire. She was just informed by a customer that her tire was flat, but she had just terminated Mr. Duffy minutes prior to finding out.
Well, when you saw the video, how did you determine that the person in that video was in fact Mr. Duffy?
Because when I received the report, I spoke to Miss Robinson. She described the clothing that Mr. Duffy was wearing, and she reported it on the date of the incident, what he was wearing. And I observed his actions coming out of Jimmy John's when he was terminated. He took off his Jimmy John's t-shirt, went back inside, and he had on the same clothing and ski mask when he exited Jimmy John's, as well as when he was hanging out around Liberty Package.
So he did match the description provided by Miss Robinson?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. That's all the questions I have for you. Defense might have some additional questions.
All right,
Okay.
Mr. Lane.
Hey, good morning, officer.
Good morning.
The quality or the actual video you were reviewing, that wasn't at Jimmy John's, correct?
No, sir.
Okay, it was at a nearby business, I guess.
Yes, sir. The Liberty Package.
Okay, how far away is Liberty Package from the I guess the vehicle that was parked in the Jimmy John's parking lot?
Approximately 10 to 15 steps away.
Okay,
Feet away.
so they kind of share the same parking lot?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what was the quality of the video of that was provided by Liberty Package?
It was fair. There were two angles. The video directly in front of Liberty Package door that it captured the sidewalk leading to Jimmy John's. That video was very clear. And there was another angle right outside of the building that captured the parking lot. And that video was fair.
Was there any audio to the video?
No, sir.
Okay. And did you actually see the tire being punctured in the video?
I could not clearly see Mr. Duffy's actions. I just saw him bend down near the rear driver's side tire.
Okay. Were there any other witnesses interviewed that said that they actually saw Mr. Duffy puncturing the tire?
The reporting officer didn't report that he spoke to any witnesses. It was only stated that Ms. Robinson was notified by a customer, but she did not say the customer witnessed it.
All right. Well, thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
All
Thank
right.
you.
And Mr. Nobles, does the state have any further witnesses?
No further witnesses from the state.
Okay. And Mr. Lane, are you presenting any witnesses today?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Nobles, do you want to reserve closing?
Yes, I'll reserve.
All right. And Mr. Lane?
Your Honor, we just argue for a dismissal of the trespass damage charge. Again, there isn't any video of my client puncturing the tire, and nor are there any witnesses that can say that they actually can tie him to puncturing the tire. So just based on that, we'd request a dismissal.
And Mr. Nobles?
We would disagree with that characterization. There was, in fact, video of this incident. He was on video leaving the Jimmy John's with his uniform on. He could be seen on video retrieving the knife and then going over to the vehicle and bending down. And then after that, he could be seen returning the knife. So I think there's enough evidence here to suggest that he is the most likely responsible person for causing this damage. We ask the court to bind me with a charge of criminal trespass.
Okay, thank you both. Based on the testimony presented, I do find probable cause to bind the case over to state court, and I will issue that order today. Detective Richard, if you don't have any other cases left, then you can be excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Y'all have a good day.
Too.
You too.
And that will take care of everything on Mr. Duffy's case. Thank you, sir.